And with all of this talk of tariffs and a potential trade war, we are seeing a lot of confusion circulating on social media about what a tariff even is and how it could impact your money.
It really is a lot to work through. ABC Action News reporter Keela McCormick joining us live in studio this morning to help break it all down for us. Keela, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning to you. I think a lot of us learned what a tariff was back in history class, and maybe you haven't given it much thought since, and that's okay. Tariffs have been used as a form of trade policy for centuries now. I spoke to a historian about how it's impacted the economy throughout history. This morning, we're also hearing from an econ expert about how it could impact the future.
What's a tariff? That's a question circulating social media a lot lately. To put it simply, it's a tax on imported goods that makes foreign products more expensive and encourages domestic production.
This is not the first time we are seeing tariffs.
Sechkin Ozkul with the Mumma College of Business says this is nothing new. Tariffs have been around for centuries and played a pivotal role in the American economy. Sean Adams from the University of Florida took me through a little history lesson.
It was a part of the fabric of the American economy for about 120, 130 years. And then after the end of World War II, the United States entered into the General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, or GATT.
When he says GATT, he's referring to the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. That was in 1947 and eventually led to the creation of the World Trade Organization in 1995. Adams tells me the goal was to promote international trade by lowering tariffs. Now, the structure and impact of tariffs have evolved greatly over the years. And Adams tells me tariffs have been used to generate more revenue, protect American industries, and as a tool for foreign policy.
And we really see after World War II a period of free trade that was kind of unprecedented in history. And so it's only recently that the tariff has become the kind of political and economic tool for policymakers.
Which brings us to present day. President Trump, Canada, and Mexico are in negotiations after President Trump threatened a 25% additional tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico. He also imposed an additional 10% tariff on imports from China. The White House website says President Trump is doing this to, quote, take bold action to hold Mexico, Canada, and China accountable to their promises of halting illegal immigration and stopping poisonous fentanyl and other drugs from flowing into our country, end quote. Those potential tariffs on Canada and Mexico are now on hold. But if they do go into play, what would that look like for you? Econ expert Ozkul from the University of South Florida weighs in.
It's when a government imposes tariffs on imported goods, the cost of these products rise. Basically very well intended to strengthen our domestic manufacturing and domestic production to make them more attractive to the customers in the United States.
Okay, so let's break down how this could impact the price you pay for everyday products. This is just an example, but let's use a smartphone. Imagine you're buying a phone from a retail store. The retailer buys that phone from an overseas manufacturer for about $500. To make a profit, the store adds a 30% markup, which brings the price to $650. That's the price you'd pay with no tariffs involved. Now let's add a tariff to the equation. Say a 25% tariff gets imposed. Now instead of paying $500 for the phone, the retailer is paying $625. In order to still make a profit, the retailer now has to mark that phone up even more. With the same 30% markup, the phone ends up costing you around $812. That's a $162 increase. This could be a bit of a hit for some consumers, but for U.S.-based phone manufacturers, it could maybe work in their favor. With foreign phones getting more expensive, U.S. manufacturers could find themselves more competitive in the market, boosting U.S. sales. Again, this equation is just an example. The econ expert said there's really no way to predict exactly what could happen if the tariffs are implemented. Back to you.